This week on Stogie Geeks News, we got stories from E.P. Carrillo, Viaje, Davidoff, Quesada, and I weigh in on what the election of our new president means to us cigar enthusiasts. So stay tuned.
This is a Security Weekly production.
Welcome to Stogie Geeks News. Today is November 11th, 2016, Veterans Day. And I'm Will Cooper in Studio C in North Carolina. And we have a bunch of stories to tell you today happening in the world of cigar news. So first up, we'll start off with E.P. Carrillo and the E.P. Carrillo Short Run 2016, which is the annual limited production offering from E.P. Carrillo that we've seen over the past 6 years. The E.P. Carrillo Short Run 2016 is now going to actually become an ongoing offering in the company's portfolio. So this will now be a regular production cigar that will be generally available. One reason for this change is really is FDA driven. As you know, there is going to be more costs associated with complying with regulations, and it's going to be a lot more cost prohibitive to try to release a limited edition cigar. E.P. Carrillo has had some success with the 2016 short run, and what better way to kind of capitalize on that success than to keep it going. So expect to see the short run at your local retailers from now, at least for the time being. There also is going to be a second short run released, and this is going to be the E.P. Carrillo Short Run 2016 Nicaragua. So as the name indicates, this is going to be a Nicaraguan blend. In fact, it's going to be an all Nicaraguan blend, a 6x52, and it's going to be the same size as the original short run. And what you'll see on this cigar is you'll see an Edición Nicaragua secondary band to denote that that's the Nicaraguan blend. So like the Short Run 2016, the Short Run 2016 Nicaragua will also be an ongoing release for cigar enthusiasts. Also, stay tuned for a special Stogie Geek Shorts we're going to do on the Short Run series, where we actually take you through the whole history of the short runs from 2010 until the time present. Turning our attention, we have a couple of stories out of Viaje. Honey and hand grenades. The HHGs are back. This is a Viaje release that we have not seen in about 3 years. It's an all Nicaraguan puro. And this was a release that actually came out first in 2012. There was a short batch done of them. Another batch came out in 2013. And we haven't seen it since. So Viaje, as everyone is probably familiar with, is a short-run, small batch production. Well, the HHG is coming back. It's coming back in the same 3 sizes that we've seen before. The Rapier, which is a 6.5 by 44. The Shank, a 5.5 by 52. And the Shiv, a 6.5 by 50. And what's kind of unique about these cigars is they're like inverse torpedoes. So, well, it's not unique, but it's not as common, we should say. So it's kind of got a rounded cap and a pointed footer. They're also doing some improvements to the packaging. They're going to be using slide top boxes right now, which are a lot cleaner. The old boxes used to be nailed shut and you had to pull them apart. So the HHGs, the honey and hand grenades, should be arriving at retailers this month. Now, also coming this month is a Thanksgiving release by Viaje, the Zombie Farmer Bill Hatchet. So the Farmer Bill Hatchet's been a line that was introduced in 2014. It was a cigar that we've seen with the Viaje stuffed turkeys, which for the past 5 years have been a Thanksgiving release. We've gotten no word if the stuffed turkeys are returning. Our indications are it appears at this time they are not returning this year. But the Farmer Bill Hatchet is. But there's one catch to the Farmer Bill Hatchet. He's been infected by the Viaje zombie virus. So, in other words, if you've seen a lot of Viaje releases, you know that there is a zombie blend. It's been incorporated into kind of horizontally into several Viaje lines. You've seen the regular zombies, the zombie super shots, the zombie antidotes. And now it appears that Farmer Bill Hatchet's gotten infected with the zombie. We don't know too much about the blend. Typically, a zombie blend is an all Nicaraguan puro, which is similar to what the original Farmer Bill Hatchet is. We do know this is a different size of the Farmer Bill Hatchet. It's a 5.5 by 54 box press as opposed to a 7 by 52. So you can expect to see these probably on time, for Thanksgiving. They're going to be packaged in 30-count boxes, and each of the 30-count boxes are going to contain 5 packs of the Farmer Bill Hatchet. So stay tuned. Be on the lookout for those as well. And not to be outdone, the Davidoff Oro Blanco is also making a comeback. And if folks are familiar with the Davidoff Oro Blanco, this is probably the most premium offering by Davidoff. It's a cigar that carries a price point of a mere $500. So they are actually doing a series of runs with these cigars. They're going to actually be doing 50 cigar batches. And they're going to make 5 of these batches available for 5 consumers. So 5 people are going to have to buy 50 of these cigars. And if you do the math, that will come to $25,000 per batch. Yes, that is the case. Paul Asadorian, you already know what I want for Christmas here. So, yeah, and what makes the Davidoff Oro Blanco specials, they're using some very rare tobaccos. These tobaccos have been they're probably the most premium of the tobaccos that are out there. They come from the Mao region, a 2002 harvest. And look, Davidoff, we've talked about this on the show. When you get into cigars at this price point, they're aiming for the luxury market, and that's clearly what they're doing here. This is not the cigar for the everyday smoker. I have not smoked this yet, so I'm waiting for Paul Asadorian to get me my Christmas gift there. So yeah, we'll see what happens. The Quesada is releasing a new keg release. This is an all-new keg release. This is the 3rd installment of the keg, and this is going to be called the Holiday Keg, and it is already started to arrive in retailers. So you probably have seen some of the previous keg releases. They were released for St. Patrick's Day, and the idea with those cigars is it was to pair that cigar with an Irish Stout here. This one's more of a holiday theme to it. It's a completely different blend than the original, those St. Patrick's Day Quesada kegs. So this one's going to have a Dominican Corojo wrapper, a Dominican binder, and Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers. It's going to come in only one size, a 6x50 Toro. And these are going to come in slightly smaller kegs than we've seen in the past. These are going to come in 10-count kegs. There's going to be a total of 1,000 kegs produced, or 10,000 cigars, and pricing is set at $7.95. Yes, and you should start seeing these at your retailers. I know I've already recently seen it, and we'll have more to talk about this on upcoming Stogie Geeks episodes. Finally, I think if folks are probably aware, we have a new president-elect in the United States, in Donald Trump. And, a lot of questions that have come up about Mr. Trump's election is, what does this mean for the cigar industry? One thing that we do know that the Trump administration, or President-elect Trump, has said is he's intent on trying to reduce some government regulations and now how he's going to reduce that, we don't know. He said on the surface that for every regulation implemented, they want to get rid of 2 regulations. And that's a particular note for the cigar enthusiasts, because obviously our industry is being regulated. Now, from a personal standpoint, I don't think that Mr. Trump is going to have the ability to undo the regulations with a pen. I think it's going to be something that's going to have to happen through Congress. I've heard some discussions about Marco Rubio and Rudy Giuliani as possibly being conduits to the president-elect, that maybe he can get something done with this. I'm cautious on that as well. In fact, I'm not confident on that. Both Marco Rubio and Rudy Giuliani are very aware of our issues. They're very aware of the challenges we face, but in the past 6 years, nothing's gotten done on that. So I don't want to give folks hopes up on that. But what I will say is that we do have an administration that probably is a little more less regulatory, or not as regulatory intensive, so to speak. So that may open a door here. It's something that's going to have to stay tuned on that. We also have to look at what President-elect Trump's policies are going to be towards Cuba right now. He's been on the record of saying that he favors more, more stricter negotiations in terms of opening up those diplomatic relationships. He's looking for Cuba to do more as far as that goes. In fact, the words he has used is he's looking for a stronger agreement or a stronger deal. So as far as that goes, we don't know how the president-elect is aware of some of the challenges facing the cigar industry on that as well, namely that, that Cuban cigars are now able to come into the U.S. by travelers abroad who now can bring back that product, and basically that product, as folks know, is not subject to regulation. That set up a lot of debate in the cigar industry, but we just don't know yet as far as what his policy is going to be towards Cuba. Now, one thing to watch is if he does this, he can, because this is something that President Obama did with a pen. He may look to rescind some of those things that were lifted a few months ago. So I think it's something, this story we have to watch a little closely as we progress. Anyway, that wraps up this special Veterans Day edition of Stogie Geeks News. Thank you to all of our veterans who have served this country. Be sure to see Stogie Geeks, www.stogiegeeks.com, broadcasting every Monday night live at 6:30. Be sure to check out Stogie Geeks News, this broadcast, www.stogienews.tv. Stogie Geek Shorts, www.stogieshorts.tv. And, of course, Cigar Coop for daily news and reviews. Thanks, everybody. That went real loud at the end.